Dear brothers and sisters, welcome to World Gospel Broadcasting Network. I am Abanda Edwin, and we are having Brother Michael too is here. Today we'll be discussing about the importance of supporting God's work, especially investing into media preaching. Just to say that I personally was converted by the media. So if those who were preaching at the time, they were not using the radio, I would not have come to know the truth that I'm preaching, and so many of you are enjoying out there. And that's the story that so many people will tell you. And we here have been crying out for quite some time that individuals who love media preaching and are ready to invest into it to get to us. We have been preaching for 10 years today. We have been using the media. We have been using the radio. And it has been very effective. And that's why we have come to realize the importance of it in this technological world. Television, radio, the different social media platforms, that these mediums could help us pass out the message of God. Brother Michael, you are welcome.
Thank you very much, Minister. I'm happy to be here once more, and I'm greeting you all for listening to this program.
So, how important is radio preaching, media preaching as a whole?
I want to thank God because I must be a testimony of radio programs. I myself, I was converted by the radio program. And that's why in my lifetime, I make it as a covenant that I will never joke with radio programs. Anything that concerns the media, I will not joke, because when I look at my distance and the distance with the radio, I realize that media is one of the best way of doing evangelism, because I can testify that without the radio, I could not have been able to be converted. So I really thank God for this media. It's really something that we need to put our head together and see what we can do, because the means of communicating through the radio or through TV channels is very important, given the fact that people who love to listen and even people who do not love to listen will still listen, because it is something that it is not selective and it goes with a broader distance. Mm-hmm. So it is something very, very important that we need to put our heads together and see how we can really support this work. This media preaching is very, very important.
Okay, now let's look at the Church of Christ and the difficulties of supporting the God's work. We have brothers who are all over the world who are well-to-do, but the challenges of the way the church is organized, sometimes like it makes it difficult for people to support. Could that be the excuse why so many people are not coming in to support? What is the problem?
Well, let me begin by saying that maybe some people, some are ignorant, some are not aware, but that is why we are coming forth to really try to make sure that many people can understand that something is going on. Mm-hmm. Especially in Bengui, I have been preaching. As I met our minister here, we have been preaching over the radio. So it is really a testimony that we have been trying to make sure that we do something here. So it is something that people need to be aware of, because we are doing it for the glory of God. Mm-hmm. And the second thing I will say is that the reason is that some people are not creating an environment of confidence. Mm-hmm. Some people have caused some others to lose confidence in other humans, because they are not people who are transparent. Some people are not transparent.
Honest, truthful.
Somebody will say, take this and do a favor for the church, and you take it and put in your pocket. It is not something that creates confidence. So it is, I'm really sure, I'm convinced that these are some of the reasons that people are not willing to support the church.
And then, and then what about the Holy Spirit? Is the Holy Spirit not a work for people to discern that this man is talking the truth? This man Because if it's about portraying the work we are carrying out, we have done that on social media. We have placed everything that is so convincing for any individual to be comfortable enough to see these people and say, no, these people are really honest people. They are truthful. We have seen them at work. We have seen the work they are carrying out, the souls that they have been saving for Christ, with the little that they have. Because even the systems we are using here to broadcast are the lowest local system that you can ever mention. Because we don't have the equipment to produce in a mature manner to send forth the program so that people can begin to benefit from the preaching and many other things that we are doing. So, but what is happening? When people have the means and yet they don't want to do it, they are more interested in making excuses. If other people have done what is wrong, does it also mean that there is nobody who have done what is right to have encouraged you to identify those that are doing that which is right and support them?
Well, let us still put it this way, that maybe some people have not really come to the knowledge of understanding the importance of media preaching.
Mm-hmm.
But let us lay emphasis on this program that this thing is very important. We know that we have tried in the past years to do door-to-door evangelism, but sometimes we see that the results are not really like if we do media preaching.
It's not accelerative. It's very sometimes
it's
slow.
slow.
It's very slow, and because given the way the world is now, people hardly open their gates. There are people who don't want to come into a compound, so even that they are thieves, they are criminal, who disguise in the form of preachers, carry Bible, come around before you know, remove a gun and then surround you maybe in your house and take all your belongings. So people now, the only way now that you can quickly penetrate with the gospel is that through the radio you get in somebody's room, somebody's parlor, somebody's house where he's living. He's comfortable to listen through the media because he knows that there's no harm that will come from the radio. There's no harm that will come from the television. So many people don't want to see people. Not about some of us who are young people. They may misunderstand us in one way or the other, and then they may think that these are people who have come with a secondary aim, and they are using the Bible as a way to maybe come in and cause some harm, or maybe come in and steal or do some thing. But when you use the media, they will hear the gospel, they will be persuaded by the gospel, and if they are interested, they will call you and they will say, come and then teach and further explain this to us, or come and baptize us, or want to know where you are worshiping so that we can join and worship with you.
That is true, Minister. I must also be an example, because at first, when I was not a Christian, due to the things that I have been seeing that they are happening with some so-called prophets and so on, I never wanted to trust any person who is going out for evangelism. Mm-hmm. So by then, I could not even entertain any person who is coming to preach for me. So, but when I was listening to the radio, I could not escape, because I was not even seeing the person who is talking. Mm-hmm. But what I was interested was the truth that was coming out from the preaching. So from there, I am talking out of experience, and I'm using myself as an example to say this media preaching is very, very important. So that is why let us use this opportunity to really understand and make the people to understand that this work is very important. I myself, who is talking, I have been supporting even some denominations when I was not yet a Christian. I have been supporting them because not everything that denominations say that are not correct. Mm-hmm. So when I heard certain things that were correct, I decided to support them. I have been supporting media work, not knowing that they were even preaching half gospel. So I was doing it because I was ignorant. So I have been trying to support the work of God. It shows that we need to really understand this thing very well, because it is important. That's why I also want that anybody who will listen to this program should know that this thing is really important. So let us put our head together and see how we can support this thing.
And on the basis of this, we are calling on elders of congregation, leaders of congregation, brothers and sisters, individuals who have been seeing the great work we have been carrying out for the Lord, that you should get to us and tell us that, well, I want to set up a studio for you. We'll be happy. And tell us that, or I will be able to set up a radio station for you. Good. Or you sponsor us, go on other media and preach. Given wherever your ability is, we are ready to take it happily to the glory of God. If you can sponsor us, go on other media and preach, we'll do it. If you can set us a studio where we can begin to screen our programs, and we can begin to screen them maybe live on Facebook or on YouTube, we'll do it. We need what we simply need and the equipment to possibly do that. We need a good studio where we can record programs, bring out programs, so that these programs we can send them out for people to benefit, and why not get the truth gospel. The Church of Christ is preaching the truth, but the problem is that we are not marketing this truth correctly. We are not channeling out the way it should go with the full force that it deserves. We are supposed to use all the possible means that are available, so that we take out the truth. Other people are doing it, and they are preaching the wrong gospel, and they are succeeding. We are having the truth, yet we are not ready to really send out this truth the way that it should go on all the platforms that God has provided, enhancing technology to push the gospel to go ahead. Brother Michael, do you think it's time? Let us keep autonomy aside, because somebody will start saying that because the autonomy has made some people to be greedy for nothing. We know that there are brothers abroad. They are in America, they are in Europe, they are in Africa, here in other countries, who have the capacity to do it, and they have been blessed by God to do it. What we simply need is the will, the conviction, the confidence, and they will do it for us. And they are there.
One thing I really like and to recommend about this media preaching is that when we do about this media preaching, you realize that many people will be able now to understand the difference between the Church of Christ and these denominations. Because when you go for door to door, you are spending time to teach about the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. You are not spending much time to talk about how the church was being established. But when you are on media, you are able to really differentiate these things, and it will really create a lot of confidence. So that is why we are pleading that, brethren who are able, you really need to follow up and see the work that we are doing, to realize that we are not joking here, especially when media preaching is concerned. Because sometimes we are even not able to go out due to crisis. But when the media is concerned, we must be there, because that one is a sure fact that we must do our best. Exactly. So we are calling on anybody that is willing, that if God has really blessed you, help this media preaching to work. The people are on the ground, they are ready and willing to do the work, if the sponsor and the support is there.
And just to say that we are not saying it that we want to start now. We have been preaching for quite a long time. We are simply saying that if we had what it now takes, we'll go extra miles, and we'll even do better than what we have been doing before. We'll penetrate the nooks and crannies of Cameroon, why not Africa, with the gospel of Christ. What we simply need is the medium, which we are saying that if it's provided, we will use it jealously. Because we are preaching the true doctrine, the accurate doctrine. We are well-equipped ministers with the capacity to deliver the whole counsel of God. So we simply need people who are willing, because some people may be doubting that how honest, how truthful are these people? Doctrinal wise, are they accurate? Do they really have the truth? And would they handle everything I'm going to give them well? I think we have passed the test. We have done other things that have proven that we are honestly following God, and we are ready to make sure that we implement, and why not exercise and make sure that His divine mission is accomplished here on earth, and which is why we are being called to be ministers to do so. Brother Michael, do you have some other words of encouragement to some of our people who may be listening to us from some other part of the world, that the Church of Christ is one, that wherever you are, we are your brother, we are your sister, help us?
That is true, Minister. And that is why I must continue from where you have already said that we are not beginning now, but we have been doing it. For instance, I have been seeing you going to Rainbow. I've seen you in Hot Cocoa in Bamenda. I've seen you in many studios.
Ocean City Radio, DEFCAM Radio,
mention. So,
Vision FM.
All these things are just to really show that we really have interest for this media preaching, because we have seen how it is paying. We have seen the effectiveness of it. So that's why we are pleading for brethren to really put their heads together to see how we can support this thing. Somebody may be willing but does not have the capacity or the way to go. But finance can take part of the work that you intend to do.
Mm.
So it is not a matter of you being there, but a matter of supporting it.
All right,
because
Brother Mike,
we are all one.
thank you very much for being part of the program. Thank you for listening. Hope you are blessed. And what we have said will help you, why not, to answer to the plea, and so that we can save souls for Christ. God bless you.
God bless you all.